Okay, guys, what's happening? SmartHelping.com here, and we're talking more about multifamily underwriting for real estate professionals. And this specifically is going to be about how you go about determining market rent. And that's a very important part of the underwriting process. And what we mean by market rent is essentially what you think the general market value of your units, what the rent per month is. Now, you might be charging more or less than that, but usually in modeling, and I'll go through an actual model with you to show you where this fits in. But usually you'll start with a market rent, and then you'll have a gain or loss to lease, and then your effect. Well, there's a whole bunch of line items that will affect the final gross rent, but we're starting or explaining today how you figure out, what is the market rent of your units. So, why are we doing this? Well, we want to, or what's the purpose is we want to compare it to the most similar rental evidence available. That's our goal. And so, first, before you do comparables, you have to know what you're comparing. So, you define the subject property and rent driving characteristics. So this is not an exact science. You'll likely come up with a range, and you'll have a higher and a lower end of that range of what the market rent might be. So here's what you have: property type, apartment, condo, single family, townhouse. Unit size, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. Location, neighborhood, street quality, proximity to transit, jobs, schools, retail. Condition, renovated, average, outdated, new construction. Amenities, parking, laundry, balcony, just different things that improve the value. Utilities, included or tenant paid. Lease terms, the length, the furnished or unfurnished, pet policy, building quality, age, maintenance, security, common areas. So these are just some common things that you should take into account when figuring out, essentially grading your property. And I probably should put a model in that kind of lets you do a grading process for each category and assign a value per month, rent per month for a given unit type. I don't know, that might be useful. But you're going to want to take into account all these different things to come up with some market rent or some subject base, right? So the goal, what exactly would a tenant be renting and what features affect its value? Okay, once we know what we have, now we want to try to find the most similar thing that's out there in the market right now in the similar area. All these different things as close as we can find. So find comparable rentals that are similar as possible. The best comps are properties that a renter would realistically consider as substitutes. Okay, because that's kind of sometimes the best you can do is say, well, what is currently the market rates for something that's this similar? It's not going to be 100% exact, but it's not an exact science here. Um, we want to take the most weight for comps that are in the same neighborhood or submarket, similar in size, so bed bath, condition and finishes, amenities and parking, recently leased or currently leased, subject to similar leases and utility arrangements. So what this means is, if you find another comparable multifamily property, and maybe it has, heated indoor pool and a basketball court, but your property has a regular pool and no basketball court. Well, you might end up resulted in a market rent for that, lower your rent compared to that rent a little bit because your market rent might be a little bit less since it doesn't have that amenity. Now, how much do you lower that by or raise it by? That's kind of like you have to assign some percentage or just make some reasonable estimate on the value of those amenities and what you think they have in relation to what the rent should be. Strongest comps are recent signed leases. So you want to get an actual number, find the closest thing possible, figure out recent signed leases, what they are for those types of units within the property, and then you can start going up or down a little bit based on exactly what your property has or does not have compared to what other properties have or don't have. And eventually, by doing this process, very exhaustive, you will find a good market rent. Reasoning: market rent is best viewed as a range, not as an exact number. After identifying strong comps, look for a subtractor that fits. Is it better than the most comps? Then you're going to want to go higher. So your market rent might be a little bit higher than the average comps for similar properties. Average, then you might be, roughly the same. If you lack some key features or it's dated, your market rent might be towards the lower end of this range. And a simple best practice conclusion: based on comparable rentals in the same submarket with similar size, condition, and amenities, the market rent appears to fall within a reasonable range of X to Y per month. Now, that's all I have to say about market rents. Let's look at an actual model, and you can see here I've got a multifamily underwriting model. This is the most comprehensive template I've done in the space. If you want to play with it, use it. It's $75 one-time fee, and it's extremely helpful. But let's jump into what it does. And if we go over to the model, you can see here in the pro forma, our first line is gross potential rent. This is whatever you end up coming up with the market rent for all your units. This is what that would be. And then after you define that, there's other things like you're going to gain or loss to lease, which is what you're currently, basically what you're currently expecting to charge. And, the goal is obviously getting closer to the market rents over time. And there's also economic vacancy concession, all this other things. But here we're just talking about how to calculate this top line number, and there'll be a bunch of adjustments based on your scenario. And if we go over to here, this is actually the column this is it right here, column N in this model, monthly market rent. And you'll compare that to the current in-place rent. So when you do the acquisition, you'll get some kind of financial data that says what's the current in-place rent for each of the different unit types. Here it is. Then you go through and determine what should the market rent be for all those different unit types, and you get this amount per unit per month, and then a percentage, which says percentage under over the actual market rent. So you're, in this case, 9% under right now with the current rent, and 20% under on this one, and this is just your opportunity to try to close that gap and eventually get your rents closer to what the market is. Now, some successful, the strategy is going to depend on your, strategy is completely up to the operators. And, if you want to try to stay a good amount under market rent to keep your vacancy up, to keep your occupancy up, but you don't want to be fully occupied 100% and give up potential rent that you could have by raising rents and still keeping the occupancy. So that's a factor there to try to maximize what you're pricing these units at, ensure the maximum occupancy at the highest possible rent. Now, in the model, we just look at the difference of the in place in the market percentage, and that's how we get in our forward assumptions in this model, this first forward assumption, which is what we think the loss to lease is going to be over time. So we start existing basically what's going on right now with the property. If we take all the current numbers, this is what we're actually collecting in rent versus what, percentage under we are of what is actually the market rent. And then over time, We try to get, to 8% under market. And the market rent will also go up by some inflation rate like this. And then your goal is to raise occupancy and lower your loss to lease over time. But you want to find a balance. And then those are the things we're talking about here today. There's a lot more to the underwriting, but that's a good start. That's where you want to have a good understanding. And once you have a good understanding, you can kind of apply it to a mental model and use this to a bunch of different properties because, really there's no bad property, no bad deal. There's just a bad price. So what you're purchasing for, all these different things you're going to factor in when you're doing these underwriting models to figure out what's the right price, how does that make sense with the risk, with the different capital stack things you've got. This model has all kinds of waterfalls, 3 different waterfalls actually. That you can model on top or wrapped around the deal, and just really, I built this template after going through a lot of client work and understanding how these need to work. And after that, you know, we have this. So that's where we stop today. Now keep in mind you can hire me for custom work at $275 an hour. Go to the hire tab. Email me for scope and all that stuff. Usually work 2 to 3 hours at a time, maybe 5 depending on the job. Also, you can download the Super Smart Bundle. If you go to templates, if you don't want to do individuals, you can just download everything for $4.99. That includes all the templates I have. If you want to specifically stick to real estate, you go to real estate tab or on the sidebar link, and $300, that'll get you all the real estate models, including the one we just went over, which is this one right here. All right, well, that's all I got for this. Hopefully now determining your market rents is a little bit more clear. And like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.